Reaction to the federal government's recent expansion to its ban on firearms has been mixed. Gun control groups say it doesn't go far enough, while firearm rights groups say it's an overreach and targets lawful gun owners, including hunters. The Liberals say the goal of the ban is to end gun violence. Now, law enforcement is, of course, on the front lines of that fight. And joining us now is Global's crime commentator, Hank Idsinga. All right, so you have decades of experience in law enforcement. You were with the Toronto Police Service for 34 years. From what you've seen in your experience serving, where do the majority of weapons that are involved in gun crimes here in Canada tend to come from?
Yeah, the vast majority of weapons, and it's always been true, have come across the border from the United States through the different border crossings.
And Hank, how many would you say are traced back to lawful gun owners here in Canada? Obviously, you don't have to give a specific amount, but is there a percentage? Is it high? Is it low? What are we talking here?
I believe lately the numbers, over 90% of the recovered crime firearms are from the United States, and less than 10% are stolen here in Canada or come from lawful gun owners here in Canada as well.
So Hank, if, as Statistics Canada numbers show, the majority of gun-related crimes in this country are committed by people with unregistered firearms, how does the federal gun ban address the root issue of gun violence?
Well, if you look at the high-profile cases, especially over the last couple of weeks that we've had, not only in the city but across the country, including that very tragic shooting in Edmonton of the security guard, this would have had no effect whatsoever on those occurrences.
Our gun-owning neighbors to the north are about to take another massive hit from their government. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for your NRA certification of multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel, like content, what I do, you can support me with the link. Everything's appreciated. And once again, comments are being removed without notice. So please be aware that that is happening. If your comment disappears, I'm not doing it. If I remove your comment, I will tell you. Let's talk about this. And going into 2025, the Canadian government is announcing that they're going to further expand their definition of assault weapon and ban even more semi-automatic firearms from being purchased in the country. Now, you got to realize that Trudeau is under a lot of fire, and there are calls for him to resign.
Mr. saying that all options are on the table. So why are you holding out the option to still support this government? I understand that you're saying that you might, trigger a confidence vote, but why are you still holding out the option? What is the glimmer of hope that you're seeing to possibly support the feds or possibly support this government in some other way?
Depends on the votes. And so I want to make it very clear. Justin Trudeau has to go. He has to resign. And because of that, all options are on the table. And we'll look at each vote and we'll make a decision. But now all options are on the table.
Prime Minister, are you going to remain in office, sir?
No, what gives you the right to continue? What gives you the right to stay in office? Thank you. You failed Canada. You've ruined our country. You're done. Walk away. You don't have an ounce of your father's integrity. At least he walked in the snow.
Especially with Trump coming into office, and he's going to throw all kinds of tariffs on Canada because of the drug issue that's coming across the border from the north. Trudeau is under immense fire, and there's a good chance that he's going to be removed from office. They have a parliamentary system, so their process is a little different, but there's definitely on the horizon the fact that the conservative minority in Canada will become the majority. And hopefully they can pull that country up and turn it around. But in the meantime, Trudeau, much like Biden, is going to cause as much damage as he can as he's going out the door. Let me bring you into here. Canada announces new gun bans, more gun control on the horizon. On December 5th, at a late afternoon press conference in Ottawa, Canada's Federal Public Safety Minister, Dominic LeBlanc, announced that 324 additional makes and variants of rifles will be added to the 2020 list of over 1,500 so-called assault-style firearms being semi-automatic guns that Liberal Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his officials had dramatically and disingenuously described as military-grade assault weapons. These added guns, said LeBlanc via video link at a press conference, are made for battlefields, not for hunting. As was the case when the initial ban was announced in May 2020, the ban takes effect immediately. These firearms may no longer be lawfully used, sold, or imported into Canada and may only be transferred under extremely limited circumstances. Prohibited firearms previously classified as non-restricted may be used for hunting pursuant to an Aboriginal or treaty right for sustenance, hunting, or trapping pending a compliant replacement firearm being acquired. In what has become a characteristic of the slapdash way that the Trudeau government has dealt with its bans, a reporter at the December 5th event noted that a list of newly illegal guns was not available or included in their materials. Quote, "None of us have seen the list. Can somebody please give us an indication of which specific makes and models are now banned?" RCMP Deputy Commissioner Brian Larkin responded that, quote, "The list will be circulated very shortly." A commenter on the X account of the Canadian gun rights site, the Gun Blog, observed that RCMP website of gun transfers was, however, shut down for maintenance at the same time that the press conference began. How convenient. LeBlanc indicated the new list had been compiled after robust consultation with experts from the RCMP, which means they got a bunch of anti-gun people together and kind of just looked at pictures of guns and said, ban, 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 which is pretty much how these things work. The list has since been posted online by LeBlanc's Department of Public Safety Canada and includes several 22 caliber rimfire rifles. So much for the RCMP's expertise on what constitutes battlefield ready. Good point. The amnesty period due to expire on October 30th, 2025, and the mandatory surrender and compensation buyback that governs guns in the 2020 list will apply to the newly added firearms as well. Now, I don't need to go too much deeper into this, but let's go ahead and come out of that. Now, I'm going to kind of throw a personal twist on this because I have a friend who lives in Canada. And while I was up there, I was eating dinner with her and the people she was living with. And we were talking about guns. And a person said, well, I agree that firearms, like military style firearms, should not be allowed to be bought by civilians. And I immediately countered and said, yeah, but you don't understand. When they get those first, they're going to come after more because they're never satisfied. There it is. I didn't need the Psychic Friends hotline to see this coming because once they start doing bans, they never stop. We can see that happening here. The only thing really protecting us is that Second Amendment. And the fact that we don't have a parliamentary system, that we do have a republic here, and that the minority are protected against the majority. But I do reach out to those people up there in Canada because, boy, you got a government that just seems hell-bent on being authoritarian. And it's just the most bizarre thing because, once again, nothing they are doing here is going to prevent crime. They like to blame the United States, saying that guns from the United States are coming into Canada. But at the same time, what are you doing from a justice standpoint in holding people accountable for when they use firearms or any other kind of implement in a crime? Start there first. But making laws that only the law-abiding are going to follow is not going to curb your crime problem. So you can expect, I suspect that in the end, if you were to look at this list, which I haven't seen, I will track it down. I'm guaranteeing you that you're going to find any semi-automatic rifle that takes a magazine is now going to be banned. As you saw from the article here, 22s are included in this list. And this person, LeBlanc, is claiming that these are battlefield rifles. What military in the world uses 22s as standard military issued firearms? I can only think of one, and that's Israel, because I know that they like to use suppressed 22s. But that's a whole nother issue. But it's hard for me to say that the people in Canada need to rise up and take control of their government because you have a system that doesn't really allow you to do so. When you saw the people in Canada protesting against COVID restrictions, what happened to you? You had a government who was literally punishing people by shutting down their bank accounts. But we'll see how this goes forward, but it's just another ridiculous move by an authoritarian entity that is not going to do what they claim it's going to do. But then again, that's not why they do this. But believe me, we in the United States need to pay attention to what's happening up north, because there are many, many factions in this country who love nothing more to do what they're doing there. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace.